Three Things with JR, episode number 25. That feels like a milestone of some sort. It's a nice round number. It's almost one per week for half of a year. I guess that's next week's episode, is a half of a year of podcasting, where I guess I've done just about one a week. I've had a couple weeks where I did two. Might have had a week or so there where I didn't release one early on, but I've gotten fairly consistent, releasing episodes every Tuesday, recording them either Sunday or Monday, so they're as topical as I can make them. They're as current as I can possibly be in my podcast. It's what's going on in my brain as close to when I release it as possible. That's the idea, is whatever I'm thinking about. That's, this is basically what I do instead of posting all of my thoughts on Facebook. There's a lot of people that do that. And I don't really read them all. I kind of skim past them when there's a long couple paragraph post of a bunch of stuff. I don't usually read all those words. And usually people don't listen to this podcast. I mean, the numbers are growing, but most people are just scrolling right past it, just like I scroll right past their Facebook posts. So I guess we're even in that way. So there you go. Does my voice sound different? If so, it's because of this new microphone I'm using. It is an Electro Voice RE320. It is a newer, updated version of a pretty famous broadcast mic designed by Electro Voice, used in radio stations and studios all around the world for vocals and talking, spoken word stuff. People, I guess, use it for kick drum mics, and the new version here even has a switch on it. So if you're using it for vocals or instruments, you flip the switch one way for a flat EQ curve, and if you're going to throw this mic on your kick drum, you flip it into the kick drum EQ curve, and it sounds deep-throated and bassy, just like you want your kick drum to sound. I haven't used it on my kick drum yet. I literally unboxed this microphone about 2 hours ago, got it all set up here on my desk, and this is the first thing that's happening with it. And so far, the way it sounds in my headphones is awesome. It is sort of a more full sound than the other microphone that I have been using, which is a nice, good mic, but it's really more of a stage or live performance mic. It is a Shure Beta 57, and I love it, but not as much as I love this one. I am curious, like when I get up right up on it, I'm like, lips are touching the mic. It sounds like this, and when I back off of it a little bit, you lose some gravitas, but I'm curious, how does it sound? You can feel free to let me know, feedback, post on my Facebook posts, comment wherever, however you can. Let me know what you think. Should I be right up on it like this, or should I back off a little bit? I don't know. I'm still playing with it, and this is experimental opening of the podcast, all about the new Electro Voice RE320. Speaking of numbers of the podcast, last week I mentioned that 3% of Three Things with JR's audience is in Ireland, which is cool, but not as cool as this week when it is up to 4%. So that either means fewer people in the U.S. are listening, or more people in Ireland are listening, or maybe a little bit of both. And I think that's pretty freaking cool that my audience is growing in Ireland in one way, shape, or form. Maybe it's only relative, but still, I like seeing at least one number go up. The number of plays, also, we are now over 400 plays of this podcast, which seems a little low. 25 podcasts, 400 plays. That means, doesn't seem like a lot per podcast. So I think you need to tell people about my podcast. You need to help me grow this thing and let other people know that it is a fun, interesting little podcast, that it's not just, you don't have to know JR to be interested in what he's thinking about. We tackle bigger, deeper subjects, and hopefully with a heart, and we try to get We try to get into some pop culture stuff. You could think of thing number 2 as like a recommendation or some good music or good books or whatever it is that's moving me right now. And then thing number 3 is just something stupid. And that's the whole idea of 3 Things with JR. So we're going to get into it. Thing number 1, birthdays. Yeah, it was my birthday this weekend, Saturday, August 29th. I turned 46 years old, which means I'm now starting to contemplate the idea that not too far off in the near future, I will be 50. And the thought of me being 50, I don't think has ever actually crossed my mind. That a fact that I could, not that I could make it, but that I am making it, that I am pushing 50. Thinking of myself as a 50-year-old is something I'm going to have to get used to, or an almost 50-year-old. But yeah, I do feel a little older. I feel a little bit more. I feel it more when I do things. I feel it more when I don't do things. I noticed I was getting old when it didn't just hurt after I worked a hard day's work or played a sport energetically and really spent myself. I noticed that I hurt just from sitting down. And so, yeah, I definitely feel a little bit older. This was a pretty great birthday, 46. I got a lot of people on Facebook telling me happy birthday, both on time and the belated ones. I don't mind if it's belated. I don't care. I do want to absolutely thank you. I let you know that I appreciate it when I get those thank yous or those happy birthdays on Facebook. It does feel good to know that people are seeing that little thing on Facebook that tells you it's my birthday and then you doing something about it, because I know what I do when I see that it is someone's birthday. Most of the time I do absolutely nothing because I don't post much on Facebook. I kind of use it as a self-promotional tool, and occasionally I'll post interesting or funny things, and that's kind of about it. This is my Facebook posting, is doing 3 Things with JR. But for those of you that are into it and thought of me and saw that and didn't just scroll past it or ignore it or think about doing it and then didn't do it, you actually did it. And it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, it's easier than ever to remember or be reminded it's someone's birthday. It's also easier than ever to be reminded it's someone's birthday and then do nothing, which, again, that's what I do most of the time. But 46 of you, somewhere in that neighborhood, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 people actually wished me a happy birthday on Facebook, and I am very grateful. Maybe since I now am, once again, every year around this time, I am reminded of how nice it is when people remember your birthday and say something. Maybe I'll do that more. So there you go. What did I do? What did I do on my birthday? Well, I'm glad you asked. I did exactly what I wanted to do on my birthday. The only thing I did that I didn't want to do was wake up early. But the only reason I woke up early using an alarm clock on my birthday was so that I could do all the other things I wanted to do. So I got up around 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I went out and played disc golf all day. I played at Raptors Roost, which is this really nice new course in Gordonsville, Virginia, built on an old golf course. Now is no longer for ball golf. It's simply a disc golf course. And I played 18 holes in the rain. And I got to tell you, if I hadn't set up a disc golf outing with a friend, Jason Hoyer, I may not have gotten up, because it was definitely raining. It was not like off and on or scattered or partly. It was rain. And so we went out, and it was no lightning. There was no thunder, and it wasn't downpouring. It was just kind of mostly steady, turning into off and on kind of light, showery, drizzly stuff. Enough to keep us soaking wet the entire time. Everything in my disc golf bag got wet. I got 100% wet. Everything in my pockets got wet. It was very moist out there on the disc golf course. And so, but that, not luckily, I knew it was going to happen. I brought a set of clothes, a complete change of clothes, and they got a nice bathroom there. So got all changed. And then Jason and I drove over to Barbecue Exchange in Gordonsville, had a nice lunch. Can't go wrong with Barbecue Exchange in Gordonsville. Then from there, we went to another disc golf course, a private course on a dude's land who's really avid, a really avid disc golfer. It's called Rochelle Ridge, and we played 18 holes there. And the reason we did these two courses was because there's a tournament coming up in 2 weeks that is these two courses in one day. So this was kind of like a practice rounds preparation for the tournament, so that we can. So that we're familiar with the courses and we can sort of know what it's going to take to play both courses in one day. It was a lot of walking, a lot of steps, and feet hurt. Ankles definitely feel 46. My heel, my plantar fasciitis doesn't feel so great, but it was 100% worth it. Fantastic outing. Great playing with Jason. Great playing Rochelle Ridge and Raptors Roost. And once again, if you're into disc golf, or if you're not into disc golf and want to get into it, let me know. I'd be glad to go out and show you the basics, get you some discs, and I'd like having more people to go play disc golf with. So what happened next? I got home and we made pizzas. There was my sister. I'm sorry, not my sister. It was my mother, my girlfriend, my daughter, and me. And we made a pizza each with whatever toppings we wanted on it. For me, that included anchovies and bacon and pineapples and mushrooms and onions and bacon and pepperoni and lots of cheese and lots of sauce. And it was fantastic with a drizzle of barbecue sauce on top. So that was dinner. After dinner, we played a fun round of Cards Against Humanity in which I got to decide all of the rules. So I determined that we should go around the table rather than having the person who just won read the next card. Also, we have so many cards in our Cards Against Humanity deck that I made it so that it was unlimited swapping out of cards. If you didn't like one of the cards in your hand, you did not have to be stuck with it. You could exchange it for a new one at will, all you wanted, at any time. So there's never an excuse for having a bad card in your hand, because you could just get rid of it and get a new one. And so that was fun. We had a good time playing that. And then as soon as we were done, Hamilton. We watched the entire, or at least I did. Allison, my daughter, and me watched all of Hamilton starting at around 10:30 at night. So we finished somewhere around 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, and absolutely loved it. I could go watch it again right now. I mean, that's how good Hamilton is. So other than getting up early, which was necessary to fit all of that into the day, other than that, it was the perfect birthday. So thank you to everybody that said something on Facebook. Thank you to Allison, to my mom, Beth, and my girlfriend, Kiki, for making the day awesome. Oh, and Kiki got me some cool stuff. We got a new leash for Scherzer, which is a big, thick, ropey kind of leash, just the way I like it. It feels good in your hand. It's secure. It doesn't feel like it's weak or anything. It's a man's leash, and I like it. I got that and a bottle of white Alabama barbecue sauce, which is, as Kiki knows, I'm into sauce, all about the sauce. And so a new barbecue sauce I've never tried before. When I'm done recording this and uploading this podcast tonight, I'm going to go down and have some barbecue sauce. I might even eat something with it. I would be very willing to just simply drink barbecue sauce. That's how much I love it. So there you go, 46, and that is thing number one. Time for a drum solo. Welcome back. Thing number two, Jack Reacher books. Thing number two is about something from pop culture. Usually it's music focused, but this time I am talking about Jack Reacher books. There was a movie, Jack Reacher, starring Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise does not represent Jack Reacher of the books. He doesn't look like him. He doesn't sound like him. He doesn't act like him. Jack Reacher is a badass. He is the centerpiece of a series of books by Lee Child. The story of Jack Reacher is this in a nutshell. He was a decorated, or maybe not decorated. Yeah, he was decorated, but he also broke the rules when he was a military police investigator, criminal investigation division, I think, something like that. Anyway, he was really good at being a military police officer. He was the guy that had to be able to arrest an Army Ranger who was doing bad things, right? And then if an Army Ranger doesn't want to be arrested, that could be a tall order. Jack Reacher's the guy to get that done. But he's no longer in the military police. Now he is retired from the military life, and he spends his days nomadically, basically traveling around the country, riding on buses, public transportation, walking everywhere, and experiencing life in whatever place he goes to. He might go to Key West. He might go to Kenosha, Wisconsin. He might go to Austin, Texas. He might go to some small town you've never heard of that's probably fictional anyway. And he goes there just to see what it's like there, experience the local culture, or maybe it's just a stop on his way to somewhere else. But he always finds the coffee shop, and he finds a good plate of breakfast at a diner. He gets a change of clothes at the Dollar General store. He stays in the cheapest motel he can find. He carries a toothbrush and a passport and a bank card so he can get his money out. And that's his life. He doesn't own things. He just travels around doing cool stuff. And when he gets to these towns, for some reason, there's always some bad shit happening, and he has to fix it. And he's really good at fixing shit like that. So that's a Jack Reacher book, basically. They're all kind of like that. And I love them. And there's a new one coming out in October. My mom got it for me for my birthday. It's a pre-order. It's going to be a real, actual hardcover book, so that unlike a Kindle book, I can read it and then I can pass it on to somebody else to read it. I can spread the Jack Reacher love. And so that's going to be cool. Looking forward to October when the new Jack Reacher book, The Sentinel, comes out. I was kind of thinking how nice it would kind of be to live that life. Every time I read a Jack Reacher book, I think, how cool would it be to live this life? To just travel around, doing what you do, wherever you want to do it. Just ride on a bus, no belongings. When your clothes wear out, you just get some new clothes, buy cheap clothes, don't spend much money, and just go around, travel around the whole country, just experiencing every little town, every big city, all the little, middle of nowhere type of places, and just seeing as much of the country, maybe the world, as you can. I kind of want to do that for like a year. Just have nothing, travel around, experiencing the simple joys of all the locations I find myself in. And I would be like Jack Reacher. I would, use my skills to help people, because that's what he does, because he's a good guy. But what would I help people do? I don't have military, police, criminal, investigative, talents. That's not me. But I could travel around and find people that need help getting better sound in their car. I could sell them a better stereo or show them where to get one. Maybe even help them install it. Right? Maybe I could teach people how to play disc golf. People that are looking for leisure activities and don't know what to do, I could show them what to do. I could help people become more easygoing and relaxed, because that's kind of that's my thing. I got a license plate on my truck that says Mr. Positive, because, man, I don't ever feel, anxiety. I don't feel stressed out. It's pretty rare that I feel that these days. Maybe years ago, yes, but in the last 7-8 years, life's been pretty good. I'm sure I'll have things that will test my ability to stay positive in the coming years, right? But for now, man, it's just pretty great. Even with the crazy shit that's happening here in 2020, I am just doing what I can to make the most of it, and just kind of going with the flow and enjoying what I can enjoy. And there's still plenty of things to enjoy. And maybe I could help other people understand that and sort of live that type of life. Or maybe I could travel around and like play music and help people feel better that way. I mean, there's any number of ways that I could just enjoy not owning anything, traveling around, and spreading cheer. I think I could do that. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So there you go. Thing number 2, Jack Reacher books. I can't wait for this next one to come out. And we find ourselves here at thing number 3. And like I said, it's usually something silly or stupid. I don't know how silly or stupid this is, but I just kind of want to talk about Mountain Dew. I have a strong love-hate relationship with Mountain Dew. It has a hold on me and has for many, many years. I have been through ups and downs with Mountain Dew. I have gone years where I don't drink it at all, along with any soda. I have gone years without drinking any soda at all. And yes, I do feel better during those years. I lose weight. I'm faster. I'm more nimble. I sleep better. I have more energy. Everything is better when I'm not drinking sodas, specifically Mountain Dew, every fucking day. And then there's other points of my life where I go for years drinking as much Mountain Dew as I could possibly consume in a day. It's a ridiculous, very unhealthy amount of Mountain Dew. And I'm kind of at this moment in time, I'm almost to the point where I couldn't really drink any more Mountain Dew. And I'm paying the price, gained some weight, a lot of weight, and not feeling as great as I normally do. But the problem is every sip of Mountain Dew is amazing. And when I'm in the Mountain Dew zone, I just absolutely love it. I wish I could stop. I do stop. I will stop. I have stopped in the past. It's going to happen again. There was the last time it happened when I was losing all the weight about 6 years ago. I was before I stopped drinking Mountain Dew, I was consuming about 10 cans of Mountain Dew a day, just nonstop. Didn't drink anything else really at all. Like that was it. And I finally I had started losing some weight, and I was getting to the point where I wasn't losing weight anymore. And I had walked into the Walmart in Ruckersville, walked back to the Mountain Dew aisle, and stopped. And that was it. Something flipped. A switch flipped in my brain, and boom, I did not want to drink Mountain Dew anymore. I had a few left. I weaned myself off of it over the next few days and stopped drinking Mountain Dew. And I didn't start again for up until about a year ago when I had one Mountain Dew. Went months before I had another one, but then I did have another one and another one. And another one. And I'm not drinking cans now. I'm drinking 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew. Now, still not as much as I used to drink. I'm holding on to that as the only sort of win right now. And I get it. It's bad, and I need to stop. But there's no point in even trying to stop until that switch flips in my brain. I don't know what's going to make it happen, when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to stop. But, man, it's just so damn good. So while I'm in the zone, I'm just going to drink some Mountain Dew. Someone was telling me recently they heard that Mountain Dew was originally developed as a mixer or a chaser for whiskey in Tennessee. I was reading on Wikipedia that is exactly how it was created. Several different recipes, but they all came from that sort of Tennessee, Kentucky area where it was either mixed with whiskey or used as a chaser afterwards. I'm not exactly sure. Which when I heard that recently, I thought back to when I was about 16. I was riding around in my friend's car, and somebody, and I'm fuzzy on the details, but one of our friends, got in the car with us, and we were driving around, and they brought with them a thermos of some sort of alcohol that they had probably taken from their parents' liquor cabinet. I have no idea what it was. I don't know all of the alcohols. I don't know them. I know some beers and some hard ciders and some wines. But when it comes to alcohol, like the hard stuff, liquor and whiskey and stuff, I'm not your guy. I like some of it. Southern Comfort tastes good, but whatever this was, it was not Southern Comfort. It was not sweet. It was very that kind of thing. And I mean, I didn't really love the taste of it, but we were 16, we were drinking, and it was fun. We didn't drink enough to get drunk or anything like that, just sort of sips of whiskey from a thermos, the kind of thermos that you would take with you to a softball game on a hot August day so that you could stay hydrated. That kind of thermos full of some kind of hard alcohol. Or it might have been beer. I honestly have no idea. But I do know that after each sip of that alcohol, I would take a sip of my Mountain Dew. I had a super big gulp from 7-Eleven full of Mountain Dew, and the best Mountain Dew has ever tasted to me was every sip after that thermos of beer whiskey stuff. Because, yeah, it was absolutely a great chaser. It was amazing. It made the Mountain Dew, like the reason to take a sip of whiskey was to make Mountain Dew taste amazing. And so I'll always remember that. The other Mountain Dew memory that comes up when I started thinking about this is summer camp. And it was church camp. It was called Camp Awanata. It was down in South Carolina. We went there every summer, 3, 4, 5 years in a row as part of a youth group with the Falls Church. And the first time I went down there, I went down with a couple dollars. I knew that there was some sort of store, and you had to bring some money if you wanted to be able to buy stuff at the store. And what I found out was they also had a Pepsi machine that they kept stocked with glass returnable bottles of all Pepsi products, including Mountain Dew. And I think that's kind of, when I think back on it, that's when I fell in love with Mountain Dew, was out of the glass bottle. And these glass bottles were recycled regularly. So there was often old glass bottles with the very old Mountain Dew logos, with the sort of like a hillbilly, guy living in the hills, smoking a pipe, drinking his Mountain Dew and drinking the whiskey that goes with, that the Mountain Dew was supposed to chase. It was that guy on the face of the Mountain Dew bottles. And man, Mountain Dew at Camp Awanata is a very fond memory. It was fantastic. And you could return the bottles and get some money, 5, 10 cents, whatever it was, which I would definitely use to get more Mountain Dew. As I think back on it, I wish I still had some of those glass bottles. They might be worth something. If anything, they'd be worth putting up on display somewhere because they looked awesome. But they weren't enough. They weren't worth enough to me at that point to not turn them in and get 5 cents so that I could buy some more Mountain Dew. And so there you go. Camp Awanata, glass bottles of Mountain Dew, fantastic. This has been a fun episode. I love the sound of this new mic. I think right here is the sweet spot. I'm about 2.5 inches or so off the mic. I could get right here, but then I think you're hearing every single breath I take. And that's probably not good. So like right about here, I think that's the right balance. Let me know. Call in and let me know. Thank you so much for listening. This is episode 25 of Three Things with JR. And now a special song to close us out. Have a good week. I'll see you next time.
Well, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them dead refuse it off you. If you hush up your mug, they'll fill up your jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Yeah, way up on the hill, there's no whiskey still where they put off a gallon or two. If you hush up your mug, they'll fill up your jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Yeah, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them dead refuse it off you. If you hush up your mug, they'll fill up your jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, the preacher came by with a tear in his eye, and he said his wife had flu. Well, we told him he ought to give her a quart of that good old Mountain Dew. Yeah, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them dead refuse it off you. If you hush up your mug, they'll fill up your jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, my brother Moore, he sawed off it short, and he measures just 4'2". But he thinks he's a giant. Give him